Once upon a time, in a prosperous kingdom surrounded by golden fields and shimmering rivers, there lived a king known for his wisdom and fairness. Among his many advisors, one minister stood above the rest. He was a man of great intelligence, humility, and compassion. His sharp mind and calm nature helped the king solve countless problems, whether it was resolving disputes among the people or negotiating with foreign traders. Because of his wisdom, the king trusted him deeply and often said that his minister was his greatest strength. But not everyone shared the king's admiration. Many courtiers grew jealous of the minister's influence and respect. They whispered among themselves, hoping one day to see him embarrassed before the king. One bright morning, during the royal court gathering, the king looked at the minister with a teasing smile and said, "My dear minister, you are indeed the wisest man in my court, but I must say your son seems to be your complete opposite. He appears to be quite foolish." The courtiers burst into laughter. The minister, surprised and slightly hurt, bowed respectfully and asked, "Your Majesty, what makes you believe my son is foolish?" The king replied with amusement, "Every morning when I go to the market to meet my people, your son stands there. I ask him the same question each day. Which is more valuable, gold or silver? And every single time, he answers silver. Can you imagine that? The son of my wisest advisor believes silver is worth more than gold." The entire court laughed again, and though the minister tried to maintain his composure, his heart sank. He could not understand why his son would say such a thing. Feeling humiliated, he excused himself and left the court, determined to confront his son and discover the truth. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and painted the sky in hues of orange and purple, the minister returned home. His son greeted him warmly, unaware of what had happened in court. The minister, still troubled, sat down beside him and asked softly, "My son, do you know which is more valuable, gold or silver?" The young man smiled and said, "Of course, father, gold is more valuable." The minister frowned in confusion. "Then why, every morning when the king asks you this question, do you say silver?" "Because of your answer, the king and his court laughed at you today and at me." The young man stood up quietly and said, "Father, please come with me. I want to show you something." He led his father to his small room and opened a wooden chest placed near his bed. Inside, dozens of shiny silver coins sparkled in the light of an oil lamp. The minister stared in astonishment. "Where did all of these come from?" he asked. The young man smiled again and said, "These are the silver coins given to me by the king himself. Every morning when he visits the market, he places 2 coins before me, 1 gold and 1 silver, and asks me to choose the more valuable one. I always choose the silver coin, and he laughs, thinking I am foolish. But father, if I ever take the gold coin, the king will stop asking me this question, and I will no longer receive any coins. So I choose silver every day, and the king happily gives it to me, thinking he is testing a fool. But in truth, I have been collecting these coins quietly. I may be called foolish, but I am not poor." The minister stood in silence, admiration slowly replacing his embarrassment. His son's logic was simple, yet brilliant. He realized that true intelligence is not always loud or obvious. Sometimes wisdom hides behind humility and silence. He placed his hand gently on his son's shoulder and said, "My boy, today you have taught me something no book ever could. The clever mind doesn't always speak. It acts The next morning, the king arrived in the marketplace as usual, and there stood the young man once again with his calm, gentle smile. The king asked, "Tell me, young man, which is more valuable, gold or silver?" The boy replied without hesitation, "Silver, Your Majesty." The king laughed heartily, gave him another silver coin, and went on his way, feeling amused as always. Later that day, when the royal court assembled, the king once again mentioned the minister's son, expecting the minister to be embarrassed. But the minister smiled and said, "Your Majesty, I have learned something important from my son. Sometimes what appears foolish is actually wise. My son has been earning a silver coin from you every day for months by making you laugh. He values your smile more than the coin itself, and through patience, he has gained more than anyone realizes." The court grew silent. The king paused for a moment, then nodded with a thoughtful smile. "You are right," he said. "Wisdom takes many forms. Perhaps your son is wiser than all of us in his own way." From that day forward, no one ever mocked the young man again. Instead, they began to admire his calm confidence and quiet intelligence. Years passed, and the young man grew into a thoughtful and respected figure in the kingdom. He helped merchants resolve disputes, advised farmers during droughts, and always carried himself with humility. When his father eventually retired, the king appointed him as one of his trusted advisors. The boy, who was once called foolish, became known as the man who understood the value of patience and silence. His story spread throughout the kingdom, teaching people that true wisdom is not about showing how clever you are, but about understanding the right time to act and the right reason to act. The story of the minister's son reminds us that the world often misunderstands calm and silence. People may laugh at you or think you are slow, but wisdom is not measured by how loudly you speak. It is shown through your choices. The world rewards those who can think long-term and stay patient, while others rush. Just as the young man preferred a steady stream of silver coins to a single piece of gold, we too must learn the value of consistency, humility, and understanding. Real strength lies in knowing who you are, not in proving it to others. Let people talk, let them laugh, and let them misunderstand you. If your intentions are right and your actions are wise, time itself will become your greatest proof. Be patient, stay grateful, and keep moving forward. True wisdom is not in the noise of words, but in the silence of understanding.